Our men in blue. Thank you.
I call the honourable member Richard Prosser.
Thank you, Mr Chair. I'm both happy and disillusioned to be making this call on the Appropriations 2012-2013 Estimates Bill on behalf of the New Zealand First Party. I'm disillusioned, Mr Chair, more than a little disillusioned, when I look at the vote police allocation, and more to the point, the fact that in real terms it is not only not increased, but has actually in fact gone backwards. The police are the front line in the fight against crime, Mr Chairman. They are the first point of call for the public whenever danger threatens. They are the fabled thin blue line which stands between the law-abiding citizen and the evildoer. It is a somewhat cliched term nowadays, Mr Chairman, but a valid one nonetheless. We're not giving them enough money, Mr Chairman. New Zealand is not resourcing its police force well enough to enable them to do their jobs properly, the job of protecting all of us and of preventing and solving crime. And they do a sterling job of their allotted task. That much is beyond question. Despite the lack of proper recognition, the lack of sufficient funding and resource allocation which this government affords them, the police keep on keeping on. They keep on keeping the villain at bay. They keep on putting themselves on the line, putting life and limb in the way of danger so the rest of us may enjoy a measure of relative safety. As the quote from George Orwell says, Mr Chairman, we sleep safe in our beds because rough men stand ready in the night to visit violence on those who would do us harm. The police, Mr Chair, the police men and women of New Zealand, the rough and the not so rough, undeniably stand amongst that good number, along with the men and women of our equally beleaguered and under-resourced defence forces. And despite this reality, we deny them the money they need in order to protect us. We skimp on the important things in this country, Mr Chairman. Too often we allocate resources in a manner which stands the priorities of logic on their head. The police need more money, not less. This vote, this appropriation, this budget has failed them. It fails us. It fails the people of New Zealand. The police are the ones who are called on to come out at night to deal with the drunks and the reprobates, to be shot at and spat at and threatened and stabbed with knives and screwdrivers and syringes filled with God knows what. They clean up after bar brawls and street fights and car crashes. They tell grieving parents and family members that their children and their loved ones are not coming home. And in return we give them a flat budget, a negative budget. What is in reality a backwards budget. We should be paying them more, but in reality we are paying them less. There will be no pay round for New Zealand's police men and women this year, Mr Chairman. They will have to do ever more with ever less, as this government requires the police to find cuts and savings from what is already an insufficient allocation. Knives and screwdrivers and dirty syringes, Mr Chairman. I say to the members opposite, some of whom have had real-life experience in the blue uniform, and I salute them for that. I salute my colleagues opposite, who have served in the blue uniform, who have been part of that thin blue line. Knives and screwdrivers and dirty syringes, and no chance of a pay rise for the next year. Thank you very much. We are told we are in, or at least we have been in the middle of a recession, a global financial meltdown, a crisis of some kind or another. Because of this, everyone has to tighten their belts. Well, Mr Chairman, that comes back to priorities again, and I wonder if perhaps the government could have held off buying new limousines for a year or so longer and given the police a pay rise instead. I wonder about things like that. We're told that crime is reducing. Really? There is less reported crime? Hurrah! Or is there? Is there really? Is there actually less crime, or is the drop in some forms of reported crime really just a drop in reporting? In the year ending 31st December, Mr Chair, between 2010 and 2011, reported sex crimes, sexual assault and related offences increased. So did unlawful entry with intent, burglary and breaking and entering. And also on the increase was miscellaneous offences, whatever that may encompass. At the same time, fewer than half of all reported crimes over the same period were actually solved. The total resolution rate for the year ended 31st December 2011 was 47%. Maybe people just simply aren't bothering to report crime because they know that our hopelessly underfunded police force don't have the time or manpower to do anything about it. Resolution of sexual offences was just 56%. Resolution of robbery and extortion cases, 43%. Resolution of cases involving unlawful entry, burglary and breaking and entering, just 15%. 1 in 6. Theft cases solved came in at 23%. Property damage, 30%. Against this backdrop, Mr Chairman, we are telling the police they can't have any more money. They can't have a pay rise. They aren't getting any more tools and resources with which to do their job. In fact, we are telling them they're going to have more paperwork to do because we're cutting back office staff positions as well. So frontline cops will have more administrative tasks to do. So that will take them away from their frontline duties, Mr Chair.
I call the honourable member Mark Mitchell.
Mr Chair, it's a pleasure to take a call on vote police, Mr.